10 seconds, you get an ability.
It's thaw season, night edition. Let's go get some eggs. Ride with me.
Oh shit. Oh goddamn. I'm in the snow. Hold on. Oh, I can't see. Oh, it better be worth it. All these goddamn. It's kind of dark, but it's not really dark. Because I guess the reflection of the snow. But it's dark enough that I shouldn't be out here like this.
But it is thaw season. Let's get these eggs. It's thaw season, and we got eggs. Check me out in the nightly stream.
It ain't my fault you're not subscribed. Subscribe.
Hey guys, come on, tell me what else to say. I am gonna start the stream. The stream has started. What's up? What's up, peoples? Yeah, peoples. I like peoples. Hey, if you out there, what's up? Thanks for coming on the stream. CJ is first to tap in while the stream has started. What's up, CJ? What's going on? Hope all is well. Didn't see no notification today, so you just keep posting now. How are you doing? Tonight we are gonna talk about getting old on these internet streets. We'll just wait for some people to come in here. But I'm here right now, so if you want to start chopping it up early, yo, it's all good. So let's just get started with reading off the poll. We do expect a nice multiple handful size of an audience. The poll reads, are classics losing visibility, or are we just not engaging the same? Julie Riel Rhodes says, hi, what's up? How are you? How are you doing today? What's today? Is it Monday? I think it's Monday. I did work today, but I don't remember what day it is. I feel like I've been working on a 24-hour straight schedule for some time. Well, I hope everyone's doing okay. Like I said, come in, take the poll, settle in. We'll get a discussion off. Tonight might be the last night for what this stream looks like. I have to put a TV up on the wall right there, and I'm moving some stuff around. I don't know if it's for spring. Oh, you came from SFF? Yeah, keep them rolling in. I was checking out the content. Good stuff. Good peoples. Very creative content creators. So I just feel happy to be in the same vein, and I felt inspired, so I'm really happy to see you. I don't know, no one has actually told me, and I have not had time to do the research on the actual event that caused what I call the raid, which is more of a, if you've been on other platforms like Twitch, Twitch has a feature where when you're on a live stream and you're about to leave, you could actually send all of your current viewers, you don't just have to tell them, you could actually send them and dump them into someone else's stream. That's a Twitch concept, so it's called a raid, and I felt like that's what it was, but I have no idea if it was a video, and I'm still seeing some energy from that, but I'm pretty happy about it. Since that moment yesterday, I've streamed last night, posted a short, and also streamed about 3 hours ago outside in the garden while I was broad forking a new row in the garden. So he just wants to help. Yeah, no, I totally appreciate that. Can you tell me, since you're aware, is there like a moment in a certain video where he's kind of just reeling off who to go out there and support? Like, what was the actual event that occurred? Because it was just like a lot of people came, and I feel it. I'm super excited about it, but I want to see the moment. I want to see what I could do to join the party and help whomever is out there as well. Okay. All right. Well, we're not getting a too handful audience. That's totally fine. We could figure this out on how to move forward. What's the best way to move forward? As you can see, there's no sub goal here because the good peoples at SFF definitely helped us to get to the goal. So we got a little break for now and just discussing the overall goal. I did have a conversation today with Mick the Pick, one of the mods, and we felt really good about these next 44 days, trying to make it to 100 days straight streaming. And just what does that mean for the future? So haven't officially decided what the next journey is, but I am super happy. It just opens up YouTube and looks for lives. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, I gotta catch one of the lives that he does when he does that. But that's an interesting tactic. And look, he's right. There's, for different reasons, I have struggled at times. And when I say struggled, as long as I have engaged people on the other side of my camera, I'm fine. It could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 1. It can't be 1 for 5 hours, but I think my frustration is that trying to prove that you have something to offer is that's a weird placement. Like I don't think I've ever faced that with something that revolves around talent and skill. Like if you play a sport, like I don't know if you're into movies, but there was a scene in Remember the Titans where the one that ended up being roommates with Petey, if you follow, essentially he was like the California boy, and he had the long blonde hair, and he was a weirdo to the actual football players, right? So he did not start the season out. The team had already been training, and everybody kind of has their rapport with one another, and he comes in because his father is in the military, and so he moves around a lot, but his father wants him to play ball. So he, right then and there, the football players, as guys do, they're making charges, saying things, saying rude things, and he takes the football and he throws the football and hits the guy in the back of the head who was actually doing the jokes, who was Petey. And right away, all of the energy behind why that guy didn't fit goes away. And I feel like that, like on this platform, that's why the numbers mean something. If things with fear, it's like if someone has something to say, we go into the hallway and you choose this hallway. But for whatever reason, there are some who get somewhat suppressed. I shouldn't say suppressed because it never really climbed up, but I do feel like for as much effort as I've given in the past, I have not gotten, my return to just say, look, things are working. But that happened yesterday. Super appreciative for that. And yeah, couldn't be happier. It is a little weird for me because my numbers all jacked up and the trend line went from like a normal thing to like, ooh, it went too high too fast, and all the things that I was planning, I'm like trying to adjust to that, but I'll take it. Blue Daffodil, what's up? Darnell, please talk about that poll that you have to answer to get into the chat. Yeah, so the poll I have, are classics losing visibility, or are we just not engaging the same? So this is the second time I read off the poll. Blue Daffodil, I shouldn't be surprised, but on my end, it says that no, there's no one out there. So I only know if enough people are out there based on the interaction. So I'm glad you said something. So with 40% both, 40% neither, 20% algorithm is the issue, and 0% is how we engage now. So I think that's the most interesting point about the poll, is that the 0% is people are not saying it's how we engage. And I probably align with that should be 0%, because I think whether it's peers, anyone who is late 70s or 80s baby, you grew up different, right? But you growing up different did not remove the ability for you to learn technology eventually. I'm old enough to have seen a typewriter, and when someone was using it, not in a nostalgic way, like not doing it because they had to, or because they were just playing around. And we were part of that transition. So the poll is like everything to do with the fact that there is something that I want to discuss in regards to the algorithm, which is adding on to the build that we had last night. A lot of people may not understand this, but the algorithm favors engage. Well, yeah, that's funny. You can teach an old dog new tricks, and this old dog learned how to finagle technology. Yeah, you can't. Well, I don't know if it's such a new trick. I mean, technology has not. On one hand, yes, there are things that you wouldn't even be able to recognize if you go back 25 years, right? But on the other hand, I say it as a software engineer. When I was picking it up, and I'm self-taught, if I've never mentioned that. I'm a self-taught software engineer. I opened the book for the first time and said, I'm going to teach myself how this works. There was no boot camp for me. I've never taken a computer class. So I'm able to do that type of self-learning. And when I started to learn, I had to learn this concept that most technologists feel like you will be obsolete. And I'm thinking that, okay, the languages that I'm learning from the beginning, the first language I really learned and really was hired to do was PHP. And just the other day, someone comes to my desk with a project that we need to convert that's in PHP. So we're talking about, a lot of these things are a lot older than we give it credit for. And so I don't really think you have to teach an old dog new tricks. Now, people who are 60s babies and before that, sure, they're going to struggle. But if you were born in the 70s, you should be fine, because when you had your Nextel i90 and i95 and you were on the chirp, you pretty much were being exposed to what was to come. Oh, you remember the Commodore? Wow, that is. Did you see the Commodore, the keyboard that they came out with? It was like I don't know what you would call it, but it had the full function of the Commodore. I'll try to pull it up actually. I got Lenny Kravitz in my ear. Yeah, but I was gonna buy this a few years ago. What was this? The Commodore. Don't tell me they scraped it off the internet already. No, here it goes. Yep. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's part nostalgia. It's an 8-bit home computer. Oh, this is the original. Where is the? I guess that's just the original. I thought they did a new form factor for it. All right. Well, I'm gonna get my facts straight. Let me just put "new" next to it and see where that goes. Are you Blue Daffodil? Are you struggling with technology? Is that what that struggling is for? There you go. Commodore's new computer. Yeah, they had like a reboot of the Commodore. And it's like again, it's part nostalgic. I was investing in this thing called I downloaded this new virtual system, which is kind of similar. It's a virtual console called the Pico 8. And what makes this cool is that you could actually program the system similar to Commodore. It's a shell, it's a terminal, and you can program the games and edit the sprites within it and make video games from this one console. But this one is a virtual console. There's always been a vibrant community of people who, I guess, ignore that, and that's okay. You don't have to always use the biggest and the newest and the best thing. Like, I just brought a TV that I have to hang out with I was telling you guys about. And it's like, I mean, I know the prices are about to jump up, but with the TV's cost, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's easy to go get one, but it's also easy to hang on to yours because it's doing is putting stuff out on the screen. But I did talk to a guy, a gamer, and he was talking about he plays like MLB The Show, and the ball comes at 100 miles per hour, and it's super tiny, and there's like a little flare on a TV if it's not really good. But that's who those TVs are really impacting. Everyone else, like, we're just in the common folk, of technology. And it's always been like that, right? So getting back to the topic, we got a few more votes, so 6 votes, that's cool. Both and neither seem to be taking the ranks today. So I guess I'll have to read. So it's either algorithm is the issue and it's how we engage now, or neither of them. So I wonder what that other answer is. My husband said the Texas Instrument had yep, they did have a computer. Yeah, they did. I mean, computers have a long history. I want to say going back to the 50s. So computers are not too much older than TVs. I think TVs premiered in the late 30s or early 40s. So, it's not all of this stuff happened in a short period of time. Now, personal computers, what we refer to as PCs, they had a harder road because there was no proven need for us to use computers the way we do now. Oh, he's finally made it. I feel so happy. The Goat Father. What's up, man? I totally appreciate you, man. You've made this a super awesome few days, and just, I mean, you've blown up all the analytics I've been looking at because it just changed the game. But yeah, man, I've been checking out your content and just try to learn from what you're doing and the creativity. And I actually enjoy watching streams of animals. So I was watching the goat one last night. It's like, okay, that's cool, man. Changing the game. Really appreciate you, man. All the people that came over, they were really positive and fun. And the stream in particular that I got caught on was I was turning some compost, and that, like, I got through turning it, but I did give my attention to the people, and it was like it was good. It was interesting going back and forth and doing the compost turn. So you're doing good things, man. I really appreciate that. Spreading the wealth, you know. Not wealth doesn't always have to be monetary. So I appreciate it. Happy to help. Thank you, man. And you know what? I've seen your tag coming. I feel like I've called you out before, like, hey, how you doing? And it's like a couple days later, bam. Um, but yeah, man, we're not too far away from each other. Well, I don't know what you do publicly, but when I start hitting the road, no, I'm streaming from my computer. I when I get to 100 straight days, I'm gonna start doing more of an investment into the whole setup. I don't want to do, and I talk about this on stream. A lot of time at night, my stream is about, what's going on in the algorithm. I'm a software engineer, so like I kind of have a understanding and the angle of what's really happening behind the scenes. And I just, I try to do little tests and throw things out there. But what I've noticed is I really want to do a horizontal stream, but you really don't get traffic that way. The impressions are super low. So you really need to get some sort of buzz. You need to, get your numbers up before you can switch over to that. And I used to try to do like a full production. So now I'm just down to like, a couple screens and not really worried about it. And, just try to run my mouth. Oh, he likes computers also. Cool. Yeah, so that's why I'm like vertical from the computer. But yeah, I'm gonna have a whole. I hope I get there, man. Try to have a whole setup, and really, I'm not doing it to compete or anything. Yeah, it shows up in the shorts feed. Yep, exactly. And that was it. I've been posting inconsistently. Yep, I'm in OBS. I'm a mass communication major, so I've done audio production, video production. I'm pretty much all into it. I know all the tools. I know how to use all the tools. What I haven't done, I haven't monetarily invested in anything. Everything that I'm working with, my mixers, my condenser mic, this is like all 20-year-old equipment. And I used to make videos well before YouTube was around. So I'm really just trying to exercise that and, pairing that with a lot of the agriculture interests that I have now and beyond that. So just seeing where it goes. So you really got me. Obviously I'm trying to get monetized so that my reasoning is so that I don't have to think about it or talk about it again. It's like, let's just get that out the way, and then we could start seeing where we're going to go and be creative with this. But yeah, haven't invested a cent into this yet. Really just time, which is money. It's the time and the effort. So some nights we have good nights with a lot of people hanging out in here. Other nights I'm learning how to carry it when it's a small group. So it's just been a lot of learning, and I just appreciate the lesson. You just never know where it's gonna go. If I had to choose to be behind the scenes or in front of the camera, I would definitely choose behind the scenes. You're self-taught. Yeah, yeah, okay. Oh my God, 25 games. I was curious because, yeah, we should talk sometime about. Yeah, I would love to talk about that. I did peep when I was watching the stream. I just instantly was thinking, it was pretty much at that point on the goats, and it was a really long stream, and I'm just wondering time wise, data storage, like, because I'm at the point where I pretty much maxed out all the drives that I have, and I'm thinking through how to organize my system to get the best out of it. And again, I've grown. My thing is more of a Twitch kind of energy where I put a goal out there. I'm streaming for 100 straight days. I get it. People on YouTube don't really understand that. That's not the culture of YouTube, but it has helped me to try to improve the stream every day. And of course, you're doing it low, no budget. But yeah, 25 cams. That's awesome, man. That's so cool. I need I need to get away from this condenser mic, the one that I have, because it's more of like a studio setting mic. When I'm peaking, I'm going up and down. I need something. So yeah, I'm gonna be looking at some equipment, and yeah, man, I can't wait. It's gonna be so fun, so fun. But yeah, we should definitely. I'll try to. I'm sure you got your contact on your about. I have on mine. So if you want to reach out outside of here, that would be great. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I've been so deep, and what we do here is like I've gotten to the point where I call this open studio, and the stream team, who's a handful of people who have come in, and because I'm always talking about the algorithm, what I notice, and the research, I'm helping to inspire others to start. Oh, thanks. Please reach out. Yeah, just to start and not. I was for a couple years putting up videos, not realizing, there's a phase where it ain't about you per se. I know I'm a creative person. I don't need YouTube, nor do I need, any validation on that. I've always lived in a creative space. Even as a software engineer, I'm a problem solver first, and I have to use you have to use creativity when you solve problems. So I understand that. Now, I was on YouTube and I was spending a ton of time editing some things down because I'm using my editing chops that I had for so long, and I'm priding myself on, the edit that I do. I spend 10 hours on this video, you put it on YouTube and you get 3 views, and you start like questioning, and it's really hard when you don't understand. So when I seen that little crack open with the okay, yeah, I know. I have a it's Chris. Okay, yeah. Well, I have so I'm using a pretty old webcam. I actually, you know what, I'll ask your opinion about that real quick, because I know all about like the IP cam from your Android, and yeah, I actually have that, and I know it will be crisper. But I have a SLR that tonight will probably be my last night on this camera. Mick the Pick. What's up, man? Mick the Pick. Meet the Goat Father. This is he's the one who ran the numbers up, man. He's the one who ran the numbers up. Blame him. So yeah, I'm not gonna be on this. This is it's a Logitech. It's 1080p, but it's like, I want to say it's 15 years old. So I have it so that I can do my SLR, which is really crisp, and I'm gonna be able to have it behind the desk. So I'm putting all that. Yeah, no, I know, I absolutely know, man. It's just, it's stages to it, and right now, like where you position your desk, the wall is behind me, so I don't really have the space. And I did do it one time on the side, and I was just getting used to it. But yeah, I got the SLR that's sitting around. I got a Canon 60D. Yeah, so we gonna keep improving, and I take an audit on the quality, but the biggest thing is the consistency and the discipline. Even when people came in, I don't know how you manage the chat. Maybe you put it to popular, but I'm not there yet. The chat is at a point where I'm able to engage and be super interactive. I kind of got like a field lavalier mic so I could do my projects. Then I realized I'm out here doing my projects. I got to keep running back to the chat. Yeah, you got a green screen. Yeah. Command. So I don't want to say it, but That's where I'm kind of going with a command center. That's a funny term. Yeah, my whole basement is ready. It's I just needed the evidence that this made sense. We work with our hands. We do a lot of projects because we have to, with the lifestyle that we're in. So it'll be nothing for me to put together a nice scene, and yeah, we gonna get there, man. And I'll wait for you to reach out. I would love the support, and I we gonna get there. I don't know if I'm gonna have 25 cameras because I love low budget. I'm like I always wanted, one of my dreams is to make like a real short film, and on like real low budget. So we will get there. And I got a couple people that I consult with, photographers, just people I've met throughout the years. I'm from New York City. I'm from the Bronx. So yeah, man, thanks. Super excited. Super excited. And yeah, like I said, we've rocked out here. We've had a good time, and I got a good group of people that have really, showed support and just watched the growth. And even, hey, we gonna do it, man. We gonna do it. But thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. I don't know how you got it, but man, you got it. You got it. All right, let's look at the, okay. We got seven votes. I'll just read it off again. Are classics losing visibility? Are we just not engaging the same? We're just all over the place now. 14% algorithm is the issue. It's how we engage now. 29% both, and neither with 29%. Good night, man. All right, yep. Please, I'll be looking out for it. So, just full transparency. Last night I love when one night leads to the next. Those who hang out over there, we were really getting into some thick conversations about some of the classic TV shows, and I think what All in the Family came up, Sanford and Son, and we were just having that discussion, and I felt there was a conversation that we've had in the past. I could say a couple months ago now, because it has been 56 days. But yeah, it definitely was more than a month ago. And I was trying to, I'll say educate, for lack of a better term. Yeah. I have no idea. All right, the poll wasn't as good as it usually is. I'll be honest about that. But the topic, the topic, it's hard to get across. Again, this whole vertical stream, I'm limited on production value, putting stuff on the screen, and getting there. But hey, I'll try to push through. So essentially, all right, let me see. I had no idea how to answer the poll, but I had to choose something to get into the room. Not good for a small poll. What do you mean you had to choose something to get into the room? You have to, what do you mean you had to? You had to take the poll? I hope I didn't mess that up and do a feature where the poll is I made you guys register to vote. Sorry if I did that. But yeah, so essentially the poll, just to let you know, Blue Daffodil, the poll has really helped out with just to provide context and content throughout the stream. So when I don't have it, I usually... Are you serious? Oh, I am sorry about that. That could be good and bad. Okay, so we're not gonna look at the numbers of the poll, and if that's the case, that I'm not worried about the numbers. We could just discuss what the whole thing was about the poll. Oh, okay. I'll look into. I'm not gonna put that stress and weight on me right now as to what did I click to make that occur. But I'm sorry about that. I didn't intend to do that because I don't. That's called like a CTA. I don't need to put any blockers up. In general, I just wanted to talk about how there is something that is not discussed, and not that I want to break this this news to you guys, but I do want to offer something that maybe you could connect with and say, yeah, you've observed the same thing, or you see it a certain way. What's up, Make the Pick? What's up with the eyes? So, can Blue Daffodil and Julie Rio Rhodes, can you put like your one of your favorite or a few of your favorite music artists, and can you just put one of them in the chat? Make the pick as well. Whoever's hanging out, if you want to play this game with me, and just put like an artist, a classic artist that you might listen to, in the chat, and it'll help to take, I'll give more context as to what I'm gonna show you. And we could do it live because I've done this test a bunch of times. We really just need one like artist. All right, so I'm tuned up on my side on what I have. I have an artist that's up, and I could just show you that. But I want to use one of your guys' artists if you have any kind of music, like a classic artist, a popular artist that we can't do without. Prince. Woo! Woo! Make the Pick is watching the Yankees while we're on stream. All right, so Prince it is. All right, so I listen to Prince a lot. Okay, one of my favorite Prince albums is not a classic Prince album, but we'll walk down this road. He's actually like the perfect case study for this. Okay, so I'm in YouTube Music, right? So right away, I'm gonna do a new another screen. So who's Prince's rivals? Who do you think rivals Prince? Is there any artist that you would say? Okay, so someone already put Michael Jackson. Okay, you already put Michael Jackson. Okay, so where did that window go? All right, so obviously we're all Michael Jackson fans. We're all Prince fans. Oh, sorry, I didn't duplicate it. That's why. All right, so look at the monthly audience of Prince. Okay, dude, been really into Randy Travis. Okay, so we're gonna start with Prince. So let's just take the eyes if we're doing some analytics, right? So he has 32.6 million. Just take his monthly audience, and this is one of the first problems is that this is gonna be on a particular platform. So in the past, when we start getting any kind of metrics, we're going to get metrics, the general metrics, album sales, right? Listens, how many radio stations are playing it, what radio stations is this playing on, who's buying this stuff. So this is segregated to the YouTube, so this is segregated to the YouTube crowd. So for now, let's just use that, and then let's type in Michael Jackson. So according to this, we have to think like the algorithm. According to this, Michael Jackson is 9 times as important as Prince. right? Because this is a numbers game. So right away we have like real problems. So when I take this on and I take this in, I listen to more older music. I'll just refer to as classic music, right? Than I do modern music. So the algorithm is based on engagement. It's based on, you know, people using it and people upholding it. So based in the poll, if you're engaging with this now, the algorithm's still gonna think that this is valuable. So let's go to a Prince. I'll go to an album that I listen to a lot. We're not gonna go to an. We're gonna go not to the classic album. We're this one right here. So this is like, you know, on the backside of, you know, Prince's music. So then I start looking at this. Prince is a top 5 in the genre of all time, right? That's not debatable. Some would say top 2. Some would even say top. He made music longer than the top, who would be considered the top artist, Michael Jackson. Definitely made music longer than him. He has more music than him as a solo artist. And then this album, Musicology, which I would say Prince was not super popular at this time just because of music was doing a shift. But I definitely got into this album. I would not expect, and these are total plays. These are not monthly plays, right? So when I look at this and I see a song like A Million Days and it only has 348,000 plays, the algorithm is never going to uphold this song. There's no reason to do so because the people aren't playing it on this platform. So when a new artist comes out and they have a song called A Million Days, so let's do that activity. And this is live. I'm not creating no, you know, this is just, I'm just telling you how I see these things and pretty much how it is. So I'm just gonna put A Million Days. Okay, so we do get a Prince hit, but look at the other hits, and I know why we get the Prince hit. We get the Prince hit because I was engaging with Prince, right? From the back, I'm being profiled. Oh, he likes Prince. They know it's in my library. They know I play that stuff. So this up here, you might as well dismiss this. And now let's look at all these other songs that we've, you know, for the most part, a lot of these we have not heard of, called A Million Days. No, sir, I'm not playing Rocket League tonight. No, I'm sorry. I actually was talking to my son about that. We're gonna, once we get the TV up, probably tonight, we're gonna start playing on his channel more. So what we need to understand from a algorithmic perspective is a text search is finite, and its goal is to deliver to you the most impressive thing, or it delivers to you the thing that you're most familiar with. It's going to recommend something, you know, to you. So if you have any kind of profile data, it's going to connect you to that. So if I'm a new artist and I come out with a song, A Million Days, but, you know, I'm new, I'm young, I got some attention, I might have some rage bait in my song. My song is going to be, as per the algorithm, more important than Prince's A Million Days. And that is not the same, like, that's not the same train of thought that we grew up with, right? We listen to albums. We're not just talking 45s and singles. We listen to albums. So I've been observing and kind of realizing that we're getting bad feedback from the algorithm because we're not actually, it's not that we're engaging in a bad way. Oh, absolutely, Blue Daffodil. Yeah, exactly. Blue Daffodil says, but the most popular doesn't equal the best. Right. Well, I mean, and the best is subjective, but the point that I'm making is what actually shifted is how do we create data to define what is the best. Now you pair that with the platform's ability to recommend people stuff while they're there. If you're on this stream, you might be able to get a recommendation of something. And that recommendation may trigger you to engage with it. You might have saw a picture that you liked. That this is how this works. And it has nothing to do with the quality of what you're going to see. So I struggle with the fact that I know good music. Like right now, I have Lenny Kravitz in my ear. This is what I'm listening to. Sorry, not Rosie, who I still have up there. I got so many windows open. Hold on. Where are you? If you want it. Okay. I literally don't even know where this is. All right, it's there. All right, this is what I'm listening to right now. Believe by Lenny Kravitz, and it's her greatest hits. Lenny Kravitz is not, the algorithm is not favoring Lenny Kravitz. As great of an artist as he might be, as great of the songs if he may have had, you can come out with something new and it could pop because there's a dance to it. And the algorithm is going to favor it because the algorithm just works on engagement. That's it. Younger people are going to be more engaged. They have more time to sit on here. They get phones younger than we had. I mean, phones weren't even around when I was that young, like for younger people. And they have all this time to engage. So we're being flooded with content that is sort of like in the dustbin. It's really like in the garbage bin. And we haven't figured out, what to do with that. And that's where I get a little frustrated. So when I, going through last night's stream from last night to today, I was really just wondering, like, how do we combat that? What can we do to show value? Like not recently, but I think within the last year, Netflix is in dire need to compete with the other streaming platforms. They all are. They all have the same insecurity, and they all are looking for tricks to, reel you in. So I noticed just in my, my library or things that I watch, they brought in a lot of shows that I was interested in, like all at once. A lot of like the black classics. And I feel like they don't do it in a way where it's about upholding the quality of the show. When I was growing up, I would see syndicated shows on TV all day. So a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're not in the cable realm anymore, where everything is pretty much like an on-demand situation, right? So, because of that, you have to actually go to it. Netflix has endless things that no one wants to watch. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that where you're like done and you can't find things, but you could keep finding things that you don't want to watch, right? But remember, the algorithm in these search indexes, they are putting the stuff together because they think they know you. they, they think that they know you, and they don't. And I know they don't know me. And I tease the algorithm sometimes, even with like the home, what do you call those, voice assistants. I used to do things like play Luther Vandross, and it would play the same song every time I asked it to play Luther Vandross. It would actually play the same exact song. You could guess the song if you want, but it would play the same song. And I would sit down and say, like, that's really weird. There's no other Luther Vandross. There's no other, and he doesn't have like a limited bag, right? He doesn't have a few songs. Like throughout his career, he was pretty popular and made pretty good music across the board. So why would they play the same song? And that's where it kind of got me, and I started to understand, because I'm super interested in identifying the parts that don't seem high tech. They seem very simple, very straightforward. And the reason why I know that it played the same song is because of the numbers, right? So just like inflation, when you were young, you're gonna have the story of this costs that. So when bubble gum, I forgot which bubble gum was 5 cents. When it was 5 cents for me, my mother would say that used to be a penny. I'm not even going to the supermarket today to see the prices of some of the little small chocolate bars that are, they're definitely not 50 cent like they were, right? But the algorithm, I don't think is doing any equation or metric that changes it doesn't manage the inflation of the numbers as they are today versus what they were in the past, because we all weren't connected in the past. So record, you can't really compare record sale to streams. That's why they had to change the whole system to make sense of it. But I don't think the algorithm cares. So the Luther Vandross song is "Dance with My Father," and I don't think that's Luther. That would be considered, especially like a Luther fan, somebody who was there the whole time. They wouldn't consider "Dance with My Father," that's one of his songs in his later years, they wouldn't consider that to be the top Luther Vandross song. So why would the algorithm continue to play this every time I ask it to play Luther Vandross? And it has to do with some gap in data. The data, it's looking at a very limited, maybe that did real numbers, in the Billboard charts. What would you do if you were the algorithm and you wanted to match somebody with something? I would say the person's going to stay if I find the most popular thing, that will trigger that person to stay. So that's what's going on. And if we don't find a way to do it, a lot of our content will be trapped on some platform, and we may not have it. And we may, they may not have the rights to play that content. So I just feel like we have to, if we realize what's going on, we'll probably like speak up more to it. And that was it. I just wanted to get that out. Thanks for listening. It wasn't anything more than that. It is night 56. So I do have a lot of content planned for the rest of the week. I'm gonna barrel down and do some editing for the rest of the night and see if I can get some long form videos up. Um, Thanks for anybody who's still hanging out. I appreciate it. Seemed like a few people were hanging out the whole stream. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have, I'll give you a minute if you have a question or some follow up about what I'm asking, or what I'm talking about with the AI and our classic content. And I do feel like that's more than just music. I don't know the last time that somebody put a classic movie in front of my face and you know it triggered anything. Like, I'm not seeing Richard Pryor movies show up in my feed nowhere, and he has some of the funniest movies that have ever been created. So it's just something that we got to deal with. And because we are the generation who knows the past and we walked into the future, I think we got to speak up for. Thanks for the vote, whomever just voted. Sorry if it makes you vote just to chat. I just found that out. Hope you have a good night as well. Yes, want to learn how, as a user, I can deal with the algorithm. I don't. Yeah. Let me read that again. Yes, I want to learn how, as a user. Hey, how are you doing? I think everyone was fine. They were hanging out and tolerating me tonight. I was trying to build on top of yesterday's conversation, but bring some of the technical background into it. A lot of what we're experiencing on these platforms. Nikki D's, that's my sister, by the way. If you guys, I was telling you about the content that she makes as an autistic, is a parent of an autistic child, and that's the topic of her content. And you should check her out. She we're gonna help push that channel, girl. Thanks for. She's on vacation right now, so that's what's up. I'm still stuck behind the desk. Um, but yeah, we just to close out, um, what we really need to do is figure out how to make our content competitive. We have some of the most amazing content from the era that we came from. That be people born, for the most part, people born in the last century. Um, Really, it was just an amazing ride of culture and things moving forward, and you see it every day where we continue to go backwards to replicate a lot of what we've done. We hear it in the music. We What's her channel again? That's her channel, Nikki D9s. She's in the chat. And she's going to be she actually just texted me today. She wants me to interview her. So we're going to have a big interview. I hope I'll be a good enough interviewer. But yeah, she's in the chat. Better be having fun on vacation. But yeah, that's my older. I only have one sister. That's my older sister, a few years. And our house, we were very musical growing up. Listened to a lot of music, a lot of movies. Like I would think many people. We did go outside a lot. Thank you. Thanks for looking her up. She's a little nervous on the YouTube side, and I'm pushing through, getting rid of the nerves, and I think it's gonna help her out. But yeah, she has a story to tell, and we both have a story to tell, and I think it's gonna be awesome. It's really hard, and I don't know how to explain it, but we talk about it. I focus on it a lot. It takes a lot of courage to come on the internet and put yourself out there, put your story out there. I think the biggest thing for me was being comfortable with the barrier of course, putting you on blast, of course. I think the barrier of, like, a lot of us are just fine living off of the internet. We have our lives, we have our jobs, we, whether we have families or we're fine and content where we are. We don't really need this. So you have to ask the question as to why does this make sense? And I was, well before I started doing this streaming streak, I was in that frame of mind, and I would ask friends, and I would say, like, you don't understand what I'm asking. Like, why do I need to do this? What am I doing it for? Because I've lived and I've enjoyed my life away from doing this. I don't necessarily need to do this. And then I started to look at it differently. Beyond the negativity, beyond the trolls, and beyond people trying to invade your privacy, it's really a way for you to express your creativity. And it's probably one of the purest places to be able to express, what you are. And if you get some relief from that, I get relief. Echo into people some of the things that I've been through and hearing that reaction. It's sad to say, but as you get older, you're going to have less friends. And a lot of the friends that you do have, they don't necessarily give you the vibrations that you may need. So that's kind of what I'm going through. I need the vibration. So if I could find somewhere else to get the vibration, I go to it. But I talk to a few people that do get vibrations, and they're going through the same thing, and they say that it doesn't really exist. People don't think deeply anymore. Everything is quick, everything is fast. And so that's a part of what I was saying. For real, human connection, Blue Daffodil says, that's what we need. Yeah, kind, safe, real human connection. Yeah, absolutely. And as we become the minority, that's what gets scared, because it's one thing for the people who are of age. They understand what human connection is like, but the generations like that are younger, they're growing up in the chaos, right? So they don't actually know. They don't know that they're rejecting something, because it's like, look at the 6'7" culture, right? Like brain rot and all. It's like, granted, we had our little goofy things. If my sister's still on, there used to be this thing with fatang. Like there's so many different things that we used to do as kids. But I think that the adults were living a separate reality than us. Life hit them, and it was real. Well, the problem of today is that a lot of people mask their life. And they go online and they live through other people, or they post stuff that's not their reality. It's like when I asked one friend, the internet looks like everyone is doing well. And then you ask another friend, and he's seeing everyone is faking something. Yeah, I don't know. There was a case recently. I don't know if they're the ones looking for the love, because there was a case that Facebook, Meta, and I think YouTube was a part of the case, that they got found guilty of the tactics that they use on people. And they had hired something like 300 or multiple hundred people to work on the psychological aspect of the thing that I keep following up on, which is the engagement. And I was telling you yesterday that I had to do a detox of this platform and social media in general. And it's really on par with not being in control. And, some of the smartest people that study human behavior, they're on the other side of this, making sure that you click something, you chat, you engage. I could tell you 10 ways to make this platform better, and it could feel like going to an awesome park with grass and sun, but there's no reason for them to do it, right? because they kind of want us to be, you know, trapped in. I don't say they want us to. I was asking a friend earlier what he thought about that. What do they want us to? And what he said was it's really just about the shareholders, because that's a lot of companies aren't in the business that you think that they're in. Once they're publicly traded, they're essentially be held to the shareholders, and that is the driver of them making money, is to have a quality stock, a growing stock, and they're making that money. So a lot of times what they do as a business, it looks like that they're really doing that business, but they're not. They're finding other ways to make money. They definitely don't know what love is. Definitely don't. Yeah. I mean, I think acceptance though, and I like having the conversation, and I'm totally fine hanging out. Let's have it. I think acceptance though is normal. I think that's just a human instinct. I think it's a safety mechanism that's inside of us, to partner up with people who are going to help us to survive in certain ways. So I think that that's normal. Now, finding it through the phone, that's not normal. That's not normal. But we can't be so down on the mechanism, right? Like, it's not really the phone, because if phones didn't become what they were, computers could still provide the same thing. They could definitely provide the same flaw that phones do, right? That's just a cultural choice, and the fact that it's easier for us to gravitate to it. There's a lot going on there, though. There's the doom scrolling. I would say that, and I spoke about this a few weeks ago, I would say the limitation of the diversity of the apps that you have on your phone and use. If you could tell me, outside of social media apps, outside of a game that you may play, how many apps of leisure, actual apps, do you have on your phone of leisure? So when the app stores were created, the modern app stores, Google Play Store, the iOS, the idea was that, oh, don't worry about being late, Katie. You're good. You're good. I was actually about to sign off, and then we kind of got into talking about this, so you're good. My current question is, how many apps of leisure do you currently have on your phone outside of a game that you might play? How many apps of leisure do you have outside of social and outside of games? So when we were supposed to go into this next phase, I'm a software engineer, so I have built apps, and I have tried to make an app that, you know, played into the leisure of people. And what I've noticed is companies have given up. Look at the news networks. They've given up on trying to get you to their platform. They've given up. Anyone who makes video content, you have a bunch of utility and fitness, but for fun. No, you don't have any fun. You don't have any fun. And Mick the Pick, I mean, sorry to say, but you know, we struggle with obesity in this country. I don't think many people are gonna have a fitness app, or if they have it, it's just like that gym payment that they've been paying for years and have not showed up to. So the activity in that fitness app in America, I'm pretty sure is low. But yeah, we don't have leisure. So a lot of companies over the years, they went from trying to make their own platforms to saying, you know what, we're just gonna, if it's media, we're just gonna funnel it through the platforms that are out there. So here's where the cycle happens. So if they're gonna funnel all of the video content through YouTube, and then they're gonna put mixed content on Instagram and mixed content on Twitter, that means that in order to engage with that particular entity, there's no such thing as a distraction free mode. Right now, so I'll bring you down with, so distraction free is like an application. So when I'm coding on what we call an IDE, when I'm coding in a UI where I write my codes, right? I'm able to press a button and everything else kind of goes away so that I could focus. I said it loud right there. Let me read what you wrote. Social media friends, and I play a lot of games on my phone, but that's to help pay for my phone bill also. Yeah, no, it is what it is. But yeah, so we just don't have all of these other apps. That's so the companies, they stopped trying to make those apps. They stopped employing people to make all these apps. No, it's fine that you're a little behind. That's all good. So the reaction from us is like, okay, well, we still want to find news, right? You still want, it's a weird political climate. But okay, you're talking about the fitness. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so you still want to, you're still gonna find who you need to find. You want to find news. I look at the weather every day, right? I don't even have a weather app. The browser Google's able to kind of take care of my needs, or I'll end up on someone's website. So a website and an app, they're just different because there's a hurdle that I have to get over. And just going deep on technology, a PWA, which is a progressive web app, they figured out a way to have notifications just from your web browser, but an app does a better job of controlling the life cycle and gaining data on the user and understanding what they do. So when you want news, where do you go for your news? Are you on, I don't want to say, I'll just run them all off. Are you on CNN? Are you on Fox? Are you going to their website to get news? Right, exactly. Well, and Katie, that's a good point. But my point is it's not really, I'm not talking about a shift in the sources that you get it from, because that's okay. And I like that there's more information. And yes, if you still know how to vet information, that's cool. I'm more so concerned that CNN is on YouTube and they're comfortable with you going to YouTube every day to see them instead of you going to CNN. Right? That's the problem. The problem is not that who the news source is. The problem is that the news source is no longer oh, that's cool, Blue Daffodil. You go to NPR. The news source no longer wants to create a platform for you to go to, which means that you cannot have a isolated experience. Make the pick. Do you go to the New York Times website or do you just follow? Oh, the app is great, New York Times. They should have the money. Do you have that app? Make the pick, or are you just telling me that they have a great app? Blue Daffodil, do you go to NPR's site or do you get their stuff from another platform? So that's my my take on it, is that when we're not building outside of these spaces, oh, you have a subscription. Oh, they got you. That's what's up. You're probably the reason why they're still around, because about 20 years ago, I was in college and I remember there was like a little conference and they were talking about how news was changing. I'm a mass comm student, so there was a lot of media talk, and they were already saying how news was changing. Think about where magazines are. Magazines did not make it onto the internet. right? Think about that. Magazines did not really make it onto the internet. That's like is insanely popular as a magazine was, and the tricks that they can do, and you put the person on the front page, and then you got the centerfold. How does that translate to the internet? So there is a time where companies, they kind of just give up, right? Now, granted, it is sad, make the pick. It is sad, but yeah, high quality print really was cool. Yup. No, I mean, magazines still exist, right? It's not that, you go to Barnes and Nobles and there's a wall of magazines, but they fit an archetype. They fit the people that we're talking about. I'll still go browse a magazine. My son, unless the magazine literally is, Minecraft, Fortnite, there's no reason for him to understand how to go to a magazine, because everything we get is from the same funnel. Everything we get is correlates to some sort of social media, or they're pushing to social media. When all the games, you would play a game and it would say, oh, tell your friends, and then next thing you know, you're connecting to people on social media through the game. And I'm not saying that they knew where things were going to end up, but let's be real. They expect you to be at church, and then a strip club is right next door. I can't do that. I really struggle when my algorithm is off to the point where these two things don't mix. They don't mix at all. And this is kind of how they have us. So that's why it's dangerous for a news channel, a media, news media, to not invest in themselves to the point where they want me directly. Like what Mick the Pick is saying, like the New York Times. At one point, I was subscribed to Entrepreneur magazine, and it was it's a direct relationship. I don't need them to post something on social media just to get me to come back to entrepreneur.com, right? Like, so yeah, it's just it's a shift, and I think that we can do a better job of maybe there's an opportunity there to teach these industries how to acquire people, because people are gonna go through. I think we're the bubble has bursted, or has burst. That court case, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but that was Thursday or Friday, and the government essentially, I think that it was a state-based case because the federal government wouldn't take it, and they ruled in the favor of the plaintiff, and that I think they ruled $350 million that Meta on Facebook is in partnership with YouTube is going to have to pay in damages. And the case was about the addiction that kids are having because of the tactics that are being put on these platforms. PBS on YouTube, or sometimes OTA. Okay, over the antenna. Yep, I know OTA. Oh, okay, that's how you get it. Yeah. It's the PBS thing. So like, since I had young, I have young kids, that was a win for me because PBS continue to invest in themselves. They have the PBS Kids app, and even though those same videos, you can go see those same videos on YouTube, you could also just download the PBS Kids app, and then you could play PBS games, and you could kind of grow with them. It's like going back and watching Channel 13 again. Like, that's what it was in New York for me. You could watch PBS, Channel 13, and me and my kids, we were having this conversation about PBS a couple weeks ago, and because they know what PBS Kids is, they didn't know what PBS stood for. And I was, I kind of like troll them, but I want to see them use the tools that they have to go find those things out because they're quick to just, okay, Google. So why, when I ask you a question like that, can't you go back and figure that out? Um, but we got there, and I kind of, I taught them why there is a PBS and what does it mean for funding to want to support like public broadcasting, and the way that we're learning and the way that we're teaching these days, that seems like an ancient concept. So that's what tonight's stream is about. It's really about how do you. Oh yeah, public broadcasting system. Man, we would watch Reading Rainbow, Bill Nye the Science Guy, uh, Mr. Rogers, or what Michael Scott says, Mr. Rogers. Yeah, we watched that. And I don't know if you guys know Daniel Tiger, which is, based on Mr. Rogers. He was in Daniel Tiger was one of the, figures in Mr. Rogers. So that cartoon too is carried on. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to become my parents, so to speak, and say, when I was your age. But what I like to do is pick out the old valuable stuff and question why don't we continue with that. Like kids today, they don't they don't know how to type. Like what? They don't know how to type. My kids tease me when they see me type and they say, how do you do that without looking? What do you mean? So I would explain to them. I've been working on this concept. You guys could tell me what you think. Maybe it's a little too bold or broad, but I put it on a short recently. It's called home food instead of homeschool. Um, and it's really me having a lot of conversations with the kids. Hey, Julian, and the kids, they're intrigued at times, and then sometimes they're like, that's really old, that's never gonna be a thing. And um but yeah, they don't, I don't know when or how they would ever learn how to type. So when we're at the point where we have professions like a prompt engineer and you could just learn how to do stuff through some prompt, and tell some tool, some AI tool how to do something. You don't even know how to type. So yeah, we got some things to hold on to, and I think we need some course correction. We've definitely gotten off track. We've allowed um, you're 11 and you're a Steelers fan. Black and yellow, black and yellow. That's what's up. Are you from the area, or you just gravitate to the Steelers? Yeah, so we have some work to do. I have been creating little apps here and there for more than a decade, and I'm not giving up on the charge. I actually think I'm gonna be more energized than ever because I see opportunity. Whenever these points of contention happens, I think in the next couple years, this platform, home food. So it's I'll type it in. It's, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't read well, but it's kind of like just instead of being schooled, you're fooled. Um, I have a very backwards way of teaching at times. It's just a weird relationship with academia, and my kids they think it's funny a lot of times what we learn and what I'm teaching them. I'm teaching them the things that I wish that I was taught and that I came across in my life. So not necessarily preparing them for test taking. And I think, man, when I was all my kids' ages, I was curious about typing. Remember how typing was like, you wanted to get to a certain amount of words per minute? Type 70, 80 words. Need to get your kids keyboards. Yeah, well, they got, my daughter has a computer. They have we have a lot of that type of stuff. It's really about that's kind of what I was just about to say. Do you guys remember like Mavis Beacon? Any of you ever used that to type? I'm pretty sure you're gonna say yes. That really ages us. But I was intrigued by little fun programs that you would start typing and it would be like a game. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a New York Giants fan. See, that's what this is. But yeah, I would like type, on those games. But the difference was, so I got one better for you, Katie. I had the class was called keyboarding in high school, and we didn't even have computers. We just had a paper with the printout of a keyboard, and we would test it based on finger placement, ASDF. Big Blue. Yeah, no, we would yeah, so I think when it comes to why we were doing the words per minute, and maybe it's not wrong that it doesn't translate, because I remember that being taught as a big part of what our future was going to be. You're going to get a job. A lot of people just thought they were going to work clerical jobs and to have clerical skills. Big Blue, Julian, that's that's the Giants. But yeah, so we would want to type, if you get up to 100 words a minute. First of all, there was definitely people lying about their words per minute, or they wasn't deducting errors that they had, because we were young and I had friends talking about they type 80 words per minute. Like, yeah, okay. But that was what we thought we were gonna get. Like my mom, she worked in the office, and so I was exposed to clerical work. But in saying that, you would think that kids would know Microsoft Office Suite like at a very early age, and that's not the case. It's really not the case, because I think what they've done for so many years is they've told kids you could be a software engineer, you can be a coder, and they do all of these programs that feel like something's actually happening without the real basis to get them, to the next level. And we would have to put a piece of paper over there so you wouldn't be able to see. Yep, that was it. That was it. My sister, who was in the chat earlier, I remember when she left for college, she had a word processor, so she was big stuff. She was able to, write. I think it had like maybe 2 or 3 lines of on the screen, but it didn't really print the stuff out until you press print. So she would be able to correct her work. And you should not be 33 years old. That's what I'm saying. You should not be 33 years old learning that in college. I'm gonna tell you, when I learned it, I was 14 years old. I got lucky. Not that it was normal for my peers to learn, but I did identify that if I'm gonna get an advantage, I might as well learn. I got a summer job, when you get your working papers at 14, and through a friend of mine, their mom was able to get me a job at a temp agency, and at that temp agency they had all the testing programs for, so that when people would come in and they would write what they on their resume, they would have testing for keyboarding, the whole Microsoft suite, and a bunch of other programs. They even had like going back like Word Perfect and all different type of word processing programs, because they would need to sell that on their resume. So since I was in the office the whole time, I would just sit at the computers and I would force the score. I would start at 70 and 80. So at 14 years old, I knew the whole Microsoft suite. So it's definitely possible. So if it's possible, then why aren't we able to get that? We're either saying that it's not important. I mean, I don't really know no other way to say it. It must not be important, even though when you're in the work world, I mean, what do you think we're using? I see spreadsheets every day, and I don't even want to see them. But some people, I always put it this way: it's nice to feel young and to be young and to push through. Nightbot, what's up? It's nice to push through and feel young and be young, but when you enter the job market, your peers are not the ones that's hiring you. You're being hired by someone your parents' age, usually 2 generations away from you. So you're going to be judged on the technology that they know and understand. And I'm still under the rule of that. So the people who were the original Microsoft spreadsheet users, they're still using it and they're still controlling, my future and using that. So what do you think is happening to people who's entering the market now? So we sell these things like everything is so cool in industry and business, and it's not really that. We're still on computers using Microsoft suite. So, but that's all. Nightbot, what's up? You just coming in to say hi? So, sum it all up. Tonight we were talking about AI's impact on our classic entertainment content, and how if we don't engage, we really struggle for that music to stay around, or that the movies or the TV shows, they don't really stay around, or they don't hold the same syndicated value, because to the algorithm, no one really is looking for that thing. The last time something about Elvis, I've never ever as popular as Elvis is, and maybe me saying it on the mic would change that. As popular as Elvis is, I have never ever had something in my feed from Elvis. And that's just what it is. And my music, I listen to everything across the board. So it just proves that they're okay with moving forward and leaving behind everything that's behind there. We're gonna age out, and they're okay with moving forward. So it's up to us to uphold, the quality that we come from. And that's tonight's show. Hope you enjoyed it. I got some content coming out tomorrow. I do 3 touch points a day. So if you're around and you see me, check me out. Even if you come in and just, wave hi, say what's up. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to be hanging a TV. Hopefully, I make it to the point where this whole set is different. I'm going to take the advice from the GOAT father, and we're going to have a better camera. Is it okay? As much as I enjoy watching it, don't see it. Yeah, but you would. I guess what I'm saying is Elvis is a mega star, right? Elvis, Michael Jackson, these are mega stars. These are not. So if the algorithm wanted to engage us, you would think, and I'll hit that last point, and then I'll jump out of here. But if the algorithm really wanted to engage you, there's endless things that you could play and replay, right? It's favoring not wanting to play. I listen to watch and listen to The Wiz. I mean, it's in the YouTube space. I own the movie digitally within the Google realm. Have a good night. And I listen to The Wiz. I've played this thing multiple times. You think Diana Ross is coming on my feed? She's not. She's not. And there's, it's hard to say why is there not a correlation other than the fact that it's going to focus on the popular case. They only got room for popularity, and we missed the cutoff. There's like a cutoff of what's popular, because the people that were the most energized when these things came about are the ones that's on these platforms. So they're going to favor, what's in there. Now think about this. If you were able to clone YouTube, but you had a age minimum, say 30, because I'm gonna keep Mick the Pick in here, because he wouldn't make the 35, and that's my guy. I need him in here. So say if there was an age minimum for YouTube, what do you think the platform would look like? What would your algorithm look like? Would you be fighting all the mixed stuff that you see in there? It would be a whole different platform. So that's the point. And a lot of our stuff is getting suppressed, and we need to figure that out, how to get it engaged and put the word out there, because we're still here and we're still energized. That's tonight's show. I'm Darnell Just Talking. I will see you around. Other than that, peace.
It's Star Season, Night Edition. Let's go get some eggs. Ride with me.
Oh shit. Oh goddamn. I'm in the snow. Hold on. Ooh. I can't see. Oh. It better be worth it. All these goddamn. It's kind of dark, but it's not really dark, because I guess the reflection of the snow. But it's dark enough that I shouldn't be out here like this.
But it is Star Season. Let's get these eggs. It's Star Season, and we got eggs. Check me out on the nightly stream.
It ain't my fault you're not subscribed.
Men's League is about going home to your family and going to work the next day. Nothing else. This don't have nothing to do with skills at this point. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. There was always music and entertainment to come back to help enrich the love.
It ain't my fault you're not subscribed.
That are based on love.
Today, we train for the 2030 Winter Olympics. Let's do it.
But here by the fire we defy frost and storm. Ha-ha, we are warm and we have our heart's desire. For here's for good fellows and the beechwood and the bellows, and the cup is at the lip in the pleasant fellowship. Oh, here by the fire we defy frost and storm. Ha-ha, we are warm and we have our heart's desire. For here's for good fellows and the beechwood and the bellows.
All right, I had to come back on because I have to end the show with saying don't be a sucker for love. Thanks, Mick the Pick. Peace.
Sucker for love, baby.